What up, gang? Back again. Time for my analysis on the Eagles-Jets game, man. First and foremost, man, I got to say this, man. Shout out to the fucking defense, man. Like, what they did yesterday was crazy. It was amazing. And had it not been for, that late game stretch where, the offense couldn't stay on the field long enough to run the clock down. It's had to grab my pillow. Mom's texting me. If it hadn't been for that late game stretch, man, we would have probably won by more than we did. But yeah, man, shout out to the D, man. They've been doing they did their thing yesterday, man. They held the Jets to 47 yards rushing. You know what I'm saying? We did give up 283 passing yards. We lost the time of possession battle. And they ran more plays than us. But we forced 4 turnovers, 3 interceptions, and a fumble. So I gotta credit the D for it first and foremost, man. They did the damn thing yesterday, man. And I honestly believe that if it wasn't for how they played, we might have lost this game. Because we didn't score a single point in the second half. That's another thing. But we came out the gate, man, as I stated on my video I just did. The offensive line looking like it's getting there. Like, it's looking like they're getting the chemistry down and they doing their thing. So, that served Ryan Matthews a little bit better than they've been doing DeMarco Murray for the first 2 games. You know what I'm saying? So, and going up against that front 7, them having the number 1 defense coming into this game, holding opponents to 8.5 points a game, we shined in the sense of Darren Sproles. You know what I'm saying? He had a rushing touchdown and a special teams touchdown. Matthews had a receiving touchdown. So, basically Sproles Matthews did the damn thing yesterday on offense. But that's all we really did was score 17 offensive points. As far as the run game was good. Our wide receivers, man, of course, they got like the top cornerback tandem in the league. Antonio Cromartie and Darrelle Revis. So I didn't really expect, Bradford to light him up through the air much. He pretty much used the running backs and the wheel routes as to his advantage. And that's smart game planning by Chip Kelly. And of course, they had 2 drop passes on the wheel routes that might have went for touchdowns. Sproles had a drop and Matthews had a drop. But they made up for it, I guess, when you get the W and you can account for the touchdowns that we scored. So, it was a pretty good game. In the first half, man, we scored 24. The second half, we kind of died and went flat. Bradford had 118 yards passing, I think, this game. That's all we had. But the rushing yards that we got, 123, we actually outrushed we got more rushing yards than passing yards this game. But, we had 18 first downs. We had 1 turnover. Of course, that was the Matthews fumble. Passing, Fitzpatrick 283, 3 interceptions, 2 touchdowns. Bradford 118. Rushing yards, Ryan Matthews 25 rushes, 108 yards. Sproles 11 for 17. Bradford had 3 rushes for -2. Bilal Powell 10 attempts for 31 yards. Ryan Fitzpatrick 4 for 13. Zach Stacy 2 for 3. We did kind of put their back against the wall where they had to take it to the passing game. So, but above all, man, our run defense never been a problem. Like, our run defense is great. You know what I'm saying? Our front 7 do the damn thing. So, that's no surprise there. Receiving yards. Our receivers, man. Brandon Marshall had another great game. 10 receptions for 109 yards. He did most of his damage towards the end of the second quarter and into the second half. But he only had 1 touchdown. Bilal Powell actually 7 receptions, 44 yards. Quincy Anunwa, 5 receptions for 50 yards. Eric Decker didn't play. It might have been a different type game had he did play, but our secondary had some good, played some good defense, man. Nolan Carroll, he had good defensive plays. Eric Gross stepped up. He had I get into that in a minute. Our top receiver was Jordan Matthews, 6 receptions, 49 yards. Nobody had a touchdown receiving. Ertz had 2 receptions for 30 yards. Aguilar didn't have a catch. Huff didn't play. Miles Austin had no catches. Riley Cooper had no catches. And as far as defense, Jordan Hicks. Gotta shout out Jordan Hicks. If you got a defensive MVP or get a game ball to a defensive player, it had to be Jordan Hicks. He was making his first start, and he did his motherfucking thing. Like 10 tackles, an interception. He had a fumble recovery. We sacked Fitzpatrick one time. That was kind of borrowing. You know what I'm saying? They sacked Bradford. They sacked Fitzpatrick one time. Muhammad Wilkerson and Leonard Williams split the sack. You know what I'm saying? But Jordan Hicks, man. Walter Thurman had an interception. Hicks had an interception. Eric Rowe had an interception. So getting into this defense. And of course, the punt return Sproles had. This defense, man, Eric Rowe stepped up. He had a nice ball. It was a little underthrown, but that's how you get on the field. You know what I'm saying? You make plays when they're there. You know what I'm saying? You got Jordan Hicks. He was all over the place, man. He had the fumble recovery that Brandon Marshall tried to pitch back. He had the interception off the tip pass, Brandon Bear. Another guy that had a good fucking game. Brandon Bear made his first NFL start in place of Cedric Thornton. That guy, man, he gets his hands up and he makes things happen, man. He batting passes, and one tip ball fell right into Jordan Hicks' hands. You know what I'm saying? So the defense did the damn thing yesterday. And it ain't really much more you can say about them guys, man. They do their thing, man. So yesterday when it was plays to be made, we made them. That the end of the game kind of upset me, and it had my blood pressure rising because when we came out with the ball, I think it was 8 minutes left, and when I watched the Dallas game last week, I said what Dallas was going to do up by 2 scores. You know what I'm saying? I knew Dallas was going to run the ball and try to execute the run game to kill the clock. So I figured, but you always got to worry in the Chip Kelly offense, because the thing about Chip Kelly is he's the only coach that'll have 6 minutes left in a game where you kill the clock, you win, and you'll see the defense out there at least 2 or 3 more times within a 5-minute span. And that's not executing properly on offense. You know what I mean? Because to watch some of the plays he called, Bradford was giving Matthews the ball, and there was 3 defenders right there to tackle him. And I'm we're not executing properly to get first down. We won the game. We sealed the game on a illegal contact penalty on a 3rd down that we didn't convert. They called illegal contact on the Jets defense, so we just kneeled down and won the game. But to put your defense under that much pressure, I think we had and don't get me wrong, Chip Kelly the execution was there at first. Ryan Matthews had a 10-yard run, then he had a 9-yard run, and then on the next run he fumbled. So we gave the ball right back to them. And but for the most part, the execution was there. It's just that when he fumbled, you give the ball back to them, you give them an opportunity to score. But on the very next play, Brandon Bear, out of his 3 tip passes, he tipped the pass, and Jordan Hicks caught the ball, and we got the ball back. But right after that, we got a 3 and out. And then on the next drive, you have Walter Thurman off a ball that bounced off Brandon Marshall's hands. Walter Thurman catches the interception and gets us the ball back again. And those kind of plays at that rate, where you getting 2 turnovers in back-to-back series at the end of a game, they're not going to happen often. So Chip Kelly's going to have to find a better way to execute down the stretch, man, because you don't even put the team under pressure. You put the fans you have them scared. Like me, I was sitting there, my blood pressure was rising and I was nervous because I'm like, this is the part of the game where we're not strong at. You know what I mean? So fortunate enough, you know what I mean, we had the defense come through a few times and we got that penalty call for us at the end of the game to seal it. But I saw Bradford, he did a few times lining up under center and everything. But as I said before, the run game was better. A lot of people, saying because Matthews might be a better fit than Murray. Like, I wouldn't get into all of that right now. What I'm going to base that upon, like I said in my last video, is the offensive line starting to gel and get that chemistry down. So, it leads to better execution, as you play in live action games. So I'm a boil it down to that, and that's going to be it for now. I think if Murray comes back against Washington, if the offensive line builds off of what they did against the Jets, I think Murray will have a great game too. And you'll start to see, like, our run game get a little bit better because of the, the chemistry is there, and, the offensive line can execute. Although we did have Andrew Gardner, he went down with an injury. I don't know if he's going to play. His status is up in the air, I guess, for this next game against Washington. But Matt Tobin stepped in Gardner's place. I am a little worried about, how we didn't execute or get any points on the board in the second half. And the last thing I'm going to talk about is our wide receivers, man. I feel like our wide receiving core, and I normally this would just be me being paranoid, but after the first 3 games, like, you see Jordan Matthews, he's like probably our only, and I don't know if it comes down to how Chip Kelly's using these guys, but Aguilar was on Revis all game. So him not having a catch, he did have a catch where he kind of had Revis beat and Bradford just overthrew him. But you played against Darrelle Revis. You lined up with Revis. So, I mean, Revis does that all the time. So I'm not really mad at the rookie. You know what I'm saying? But it's the rest of the guys, man. Like, Miles Austin played a couple snaps. Riley Cooper played, like, and it's just like no real scare tactic or real threat on our receiving core, and it seems like it's just besides Jordan Matthews, because these guys, I think they got 11 catches combined on the year, minus Matthews. I think they got 11 catches combined for 100 yards on the year. So it's not just about Darrelle Revis being on Aguilar and why he was invisible all game. You know what I'm saying? It's more than that, and I don't think anybody's scared of our wide receivers. Not to criticize them, because they are young guys, and they gotta find their niche and everything. But I just don't think our receivers at this point scare anybody to the point where we can really put on a full-fledged passing attack. Maybe it has something to do with how young these guys are. Maybe it has something to do with nobody looks at us as a threat. Like, for a prime example, they let Buster Skrine guard Matthews all game, and he gave up about 6-inch height advantage. You know what I'm saying? And Matthews was held without a touchdown. So, I mean, maybe nobody fears our wide receivers, and based upon like how we been playing all year, there's no reason for anybody to really fear us yet. We have to get that intact, because it's a lot of times where Bradford doesn't have anybody to throw to because nobody's open. Just as much as he is inaccurate a lot. You know what I'm saying? I feel like we just don't scare nobody at this point. And Chip Kelly needs to talk to these guys or establish some kind of execution style offense where guys need to start, respecting us, because we only averaging 19, I think, less than 20 points a game. That's not a typical Eagles offense, you know what I'm saying? So, and it got a lot to do with the guys being young. So, I mean, I don't know, but yeah, right now I don't think nobody fears our wide receiving core. I think, guys putting their nickel corner on Jordan Matthews. Like, last year, Jordan Matthews got Byron Maxwell on him in the Seattle game. You know what I'm saying? So until we get that kind of, respect from opposing secondaries and everything, they respect Sproles, you know what I'm saying, in the open field, you know what I'm saying? But our receivers, man, like, we gotta we got to execute better and instill fear into these secondaries where they have to really play us, because I think they sleep on us because we're not out there proving anything. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. That's something Chip Kelly gonna have to work on. For the most part, the run game did look good yesterday. We're going up against a division rival Sunday, so you know these games is always tough. You know what I'm saying? So it's gonna be a good one, man. I gotta research a few things on that matchup, see who's playing, see who's not playing, so I can establish my game plan for the next video against Washington. But for the most part, man, it felt good to get a W yesterday, man, and we still, it's still a lot of room for improvement. You know what I'm saying? But for the most part, I'll take the W and just be happy about it. But yeah, man, we got a lot to work on, man. But as usual, man, our defense is there. I mean, Brandon Marshall did have 10 catches and 109 yards, and they didn't have the Eric Decker. But for the most part, our secondary, man, our whole defense did a damn good job yesterday, man, despite Marshall's game. But we did a damn thing, man, and I never really worry about our defense going into a game. So it's gonna be a good game Sunday against, you know, our divisional foes. You know what I'm saying? They talking about Deshaun Jackson might try to play. I don't know though. I'll get into that later on this week. You know what I'm saying? But for the most part, it was a good W, man. I think I touched on everything, and I tried to keep it short as possible. But anyways, man, let me know what y'all think, man. Love y'all. I catch y'all later on this week, man. Bird game, we 1-2. Hopefully we get to 2-2. Keep showing me love. Subscribe. I'm saying I love y'all. Peace. Check me on Instagram. You seen enough videos. You know the Instagram page and the Twitter page. Love y'all. Fly Eagles fly. Peace.